May I commence the proceedings, my lord? தமிழ் தாய் வாழ்த்து.
நீராறும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெளிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனர் திருநாடும் சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம் வியந்த செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
May I request the Learned Advocate General to give farewell address to the Honorable the Chief Justice.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice and other Honorable Judges of the Madras High Court, Honorable Judges from the Rajasthan High Court, retired Judges of the Madras High Court, family members and friends of the Honorable Chief Justice Thiru Manindra Mohan Shrivastava, Learned Additional Solicitor General Thiru A.R.L. Sundaresan, Learned Additional Advocate Generals Thiruvalargal M. Ajmal Khan, Veera Kadiravan, Haja Nasuruddin, P. Kumaresan, R. Bhaskaran, J. Ravindran, R. Ramanlal, K. Chandramohan, M. Suresh Kumar, R. Neelakantan, and P. Muthukumar. Learned State Public Prosecutor Thiru Hassan Muhammad Jinnah, Learned State Government Pleader Thiru Edwin Prabhakar, Learned Government Pleader Madurai Thiru P. Tilakkumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Tamil Nadu at the Principal Bench and the Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court, Learned Public Prosecutor of Puducherry Thiru M. V. Ramachandramurthy, Learned Government Pleader of Puducherry Thiru S. Ravi Kumar, Learned Government Law Officers of Puducherry and the Law Officers of the Union of India. Thiru P. S. Amalraj and Thiru V. Karthikeyan, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Thiru S. Prabhakaran, Vice Chairman of the Bar Council of India, Thiru V. R. Kamalnathan, President of Madras Bar Association, Thiru G. Mohan Krishnan, President of the Madras High Court Advocates Association, Tirumati N.S. Revati, President of Women Lawyers Association, Thiru P. Selvaraj, President of the Law Association, Thiru Isaac Mohanlal, President of the Madurai Bench of the Madras High Court Bar Association, Thiru M. Tirunavakarasu, President, Madurai Bench High Court Advocates Association, Thiru M. K. Suresh, President, Madurai Bar Association of Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Thiru V. Ramakrishnan, President of the Madras High Court Madurai Bench Advocates Association, Ms. G. Dhanalakshmi, President of Women Advocates Association Madurai, and other office bearers of the various respective associations. Tirumati S. Ali, Registrar General, officers and staff of the Registry of the Madras High Court at the principal seat and its bench at Madurai, fellow senior advocates, beloved advocates, representatives of the electronic and print media, viewers watching the proceedings online, ladies and gentlemen, Anaivarukkum Malai Vanakkam. We had all met here on 22nd of July last year to welcome Honorable Justice Manindra Mohan Shrivastava on his assumption of office as the 54th Chief Justice of the Madras High Court. In my welcome address given that day, I had mentioned about the rule of 7 degrees of separation and how, with your lordship, the connection became immediate when I learned that you are from the city of Bilaspur, which is the place of my in-laws, or to use the Hindi word, Sasural. How prophetic it was that I referred to that expression because over the next 7 months, we have established a bond of mutual respect and friendship that only happens with the Sasural. In fact, apart from my recognizing the importance of this tradition of the Advocate General's farewell address, it was the relationship we have built which made me reject without hesitation the compelling call to be at Wankhede Stadium at 7 p.m. tonight. When your lordship took over the mantle, the members of this bar had a very high expectations since you come with a well-earned reputation of knowledge and fairness in both your home state of Madhya Pradesh, now Chhattisgarh, as well as the Rajasthan High Court, whereto you adorned the post of its Chief Justice with distinction. In fact, the presence of your lordship's colleagues here is a testimony by itself. I may candidly state that your lordship had more than exceeded the expectations of this bar with your conduct, demeanor, and fairness. On our part, I had mentioned in the welcome address that the warmth of the climate in Tamil Nadu is only matched by the warmth of our hospitality and friendship. We are all eagerly waiting to hear from you in your reply on whether, as you did, we have also collectively lived up to your expectations in making you feel at home away from home. The best way to describe your brief but impactful stint here would be to borrow a Latin expression attributed to Julius Caesar after his victory at the Battle of Zela against Pharnaces II of Pontus, when he addressed the Roman Senate by saying, Vini, vidi, vici. It simply meant, I came, I saw, I conquered, and contextually representing a rapid and total victory, and in a more modern usage, descriptive of success in everyone's endeavors. Yes, my lord, the Chief Justice can with every justification begin your reply address or your response this evening with Vini Vidi Viji without in any way being or sounding self-proclamatory. Your lordship had already been a very active and successful member of the bar, both as a lawyer and thereafter as a designated senior in 2005, before you accepted judgeship as a judge of the Chhattisgarh High Court on 10th of December 2009. Having now spent over 16 years on that side of the bar, assuming your lordship does not continue in judicial service, either as in your namesake MMSJ as I had hoped for in my welcome, or in any other judicial capacity, you know you will be most welcome back to the bar. Just as I told your brother Justice M.S. Ramesh on his retirement, get back to where you once belonged. In your lordship's case, you already did exactly that in advance when you warmly adorned the lawyer's t-shirt when you came out to Chepauk to toss with me in our annual cricket match last week between the Chief Justice and the Advocate General's 11, 6 days ahead of your superannuation. Having already elaborately mentioned about your lordship's birth, infant nurture, education, and your final entry to the bar on 5th of October 1987 in my welcome address the other day, to avoid prolixity, I shall refrain from repeating the same at your farewell and instead dwell only on your accomplishments while presiding over our court for the last 7 months. However, I will be failing in my duty if I do not make a few brief references to your lordship as an individual before elaborating on your lordship as a jurist. In this regard, I can only quote your daughter Medha, who calls you Daddy Cool, a super fun, chilled out person with a very simple and sorted vision of life. She spoke of your keen eye for the finer things in life like arts and performing arts. Words of praise of your singing ability, and in particular your penchant for yodeling, makes her compare you to your favorite singer Kishore Kumar. Another little known fact which I learned from her only now is your lordship's mimicking ability, apart from your huge interest in wildlife. Your concern for public good and social welfare made you an active Rotarian and a Paul Harris Fellow awardee. What better validation of your life can you get than from your own blood? Going back to Chief Justice Shrivastava, the juror, within the few months after taking over, your lordship had taken up cases in every multiple jurisdiction. Particular references may be made to your Lordship's treatment of public interest litigations, a remedy which the institution and the people of Tamil Nadu invoke frequently. Your Lordship has been able to choose only such causes which merit a PIL while dismissing others with costs, thereby ensuring that only people with a just cause invoke this jurisdiction which was originally intended for the poor and the helpless. Not being content with dealing with Article 226 intra-court appeals in civil matters as well as SARFAESI and DRT, your Lordship also briefly assigned to yourself the fairly complex and at times bewildering world of taxation. My friends from the tax bar spoke highly of your Lordship's quick grasp, and I had to interject on your behalf and remind them all that you are the standing counsel for the Income Tax Department before your elevation. As is customary in this address, I shall advert to a few interesting and important judicial pronouncements that you have made during your tenure here. In the case of A.R. Sridharan versus Tripower Enterprises, your Lordship passed orders in a batch of review applications pending for long, dealing with an extremely valuable property in Chennai. Your Lordship had explored the contours with which reviews could be argued and rejected arguments which were more in appeals disguised as review, and put an end to an attempt to rehear on merits a land dispute which was 3 decades old and restored ownership of the property to the rightful claimants. In another interesting case which has universal application, your Lordship dealt with a common problem faced by several people when an immediate family member dies. All important postal communications addressed to the deceased gets returned to the sender, putting the family members into great inconvenience. In the case of Mohan Ramasamy versus the Secretary, Ministry of Communication, your Lordship provided relief in the midst of regulatory confusion caused by allegedly conflicting provisions of the Post Office Regulations of 2024 by holding that the Postal Department should not return the posts to the sender with an endorsement of death and should instead deliver the post to the legal heirs who are available to receive the same. As I had mentioned earlier, in the last few months, your Lordship had consciously posted some tax matters resulting in both direct and indirect tax cases being resolved in plenty. I may here refer to 2 very interesting pronouncements made under the Income Tax Act by your Lordships, one dealing with the interpretation of Section 9 of the Income Tax Act dealing with royalty, and the other dealing with the Settlement Commission. The first one is the Cognizant Technology Solutions versus CIT, dealing with payments made by the assessee for certain services which the departments claimed to be royalty under Section 9 and therefore disallowed the payment under Section 40A1. Interpreting the provisions, your Lordship held it not to be so, but were actually payments made for standard services, and therefore the question of TDS as per Section 195 of the Act would not arise. Relating to the Settlement Commission, in the case of Khazana Jewelry versus ITSC, your Lordship, while setting aside the order of the Commission, held that even while analyzing any device used by assessee to circumvent the law, the same should be strictly scrutinized by the authorities, but even then, interest of justice would require such scrutiny to be done in a manner which is thorough and also transparent. Finally, in the Union Bank of India versus Assistant Commissioner EPFO, the issue at hand was whether the Employee Provident Fund organization gets precedence over other secured creditors. Different opinions have been expressed by different high courts, and the issue also involved reconciling several judgments of the apex courts read with other statutory amendments, including certain recent amendments to the DRT law as well as the SARFAESI law. This matter was argued over several days, and I had the good fortune to address you on behalf of the EPFO. After your Lordship reserved judgment in a collateral matter which came up in the Supreme Court, in a single sentence in a paragraph, the apex court held in favor of the EPFO, which thus became a binding one, though not a considered one. Despite that, your Lordship has passed a detailed order explaining the concept of creation of security interest and precedence of statutory charges. This afternoon at 2:15, as I was giving the finishing touches to this address, your Lordship's brother, Justice Arun Murugan, told me in the corridor to look out for 5 or 6 more judgments that you are pronouncing at 2:15. I had earlier been told by both the Additional Solicitor General, Mr. Sundaresan, as well as my friend, Mr. Arvind Dattar, that some very important matters have been argued and resolved. Your Lordship, with your very, very hard devotion to duty, did not want them to be re-argued and sat and burnt the overnight midnight oil and ensured that all the judgments were delivered this afternoon itself without leaving a single judgment reserved. Alas, due to the paucity of time, I have not been able to include them in this farewell address, though I may, with your permission, include them when this address grows to print. One thing that strikes out when you are in your Lordship's court is your Lordship's subtle sense of humor, coupled with an extraordinary deep knowledge of case law and basic concepts of both civil and criminal jurisprudence. I remember a few months back when arguing before your Lordship's bench on some aspect of mining and tax law, the moment one of my opposing counsel made a reference to the Supreme Court's Constitution Bench judgment in Kesharam Industries, without batting an eyelid, your Lordship smiled at the counsel and told him in a wry way, I quote, "What about the spirited dissenting judgment?" It took a moment of my time to realize that the dissent you referred to was Justice Sinha, and the reference to it being spirited was a pun alluding to the fact that several decades later, 9 judges of the Supreme Court, while deciding the case of taxability of industrial alcohol by the states, upheld the dissent and overruled the majority. At your welcome, I had mentioned about the beauty and grandeur of the High Court building, and in particular of the Chief Justice's Court Hall number 1. It is to your Lordship's credit, and of course the credit of your committee members comprising of your brother and sister judges as well as experts, that you have restored the beautiful heritage building that once housed the Madras Law College, the alma mater of almost all of us here who studied till 2015. To quote your own words, day before yesterday during breakfast, you have made a Vidyalayam into a Nyayalayam, meaning from a temple of learning to a temple of justice. You also adorned the court hall that morning, sitting with Justice Suresh Kumar, your Lordship's senior most companion judge, in that court complex, thereby creating a history of sorts, as no Chief Justice of this High Court has ever sat in another court hall, at least to my knowledge, except when they preside over the first court at the Madurai bench. To close my welcome address, as I have done in the case of a few of your brothers and sisters in the past, I crave leave to refer to some contemporary lyrics in contrast to old quotations. In your Lordship's case, I choose the words from the classic musical opera Cats by the legendary composers Andrew Lloyd Webber and the song Memories, so beautifully rendered by Barbara Streisand. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. And when I wish and pray that a new day will begin for you, I know that the new day should not only be professionally fulfilling, as we are all undoubtedly sure it would be, but also give you the time to spend with your family, a sacrifice that all members of the judiciary make during their service. Your wife, Mrs. Madhu, as well as your daughters, Medha and Maulshri, both of whom incidentally being lawyers, will no doubt look forward to your company. Likewise, your family and friends will be looking forward to you opening up your vocal cords once again and belt out some vintage Kishore Kumar songs and maybe some from the other favorite S.P. Balasubramaniam, which you mentioned. To conclude, may I, on behalf of the members of this High Court of Judicature at Madras, from the principal bench, as well as the Madurai bench, extend a very warm farewell to your Lordship and wish your Lordship all the success in your future endeavors. Good evening. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I request the Honorable the Chief Justice to offer acceptance speech.
esteemed sister and brother judges of the Madras High Court and Rajasthan High Court, Shri P.S. Raman, Advocate General of Tamil Nadu, Shri A.R.L. Sundaresan, Additional Solicitor General of India, Learned Additional Advocate General, Shri Prabhakaran, Vice President, Bar Council of India, Shri P.S. Amalraj, Chairman, Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Learned Senior Advocates, Public Prosecutors of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Government Pleaders of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Shri M. Bhaskar, President of Madras Bar Association and other office bearers, Mr. Mohan Krishnan, President of the Madras High Court Advocates Association and other office bearers, Srimati N. S. Revati, President of the Women's Lawyer Association and other office bearers, Shri P. Selvaraj, President of the Law Association and other office bearers, President, Secretary and other office bearers of various bar associations of the Madurai Bench of Madras High Court, Registrar General, Additional Registrar General at Madurai, Registrars, officers and staff members of the Principal Seat and Madurai, Bench of Madras High Court, officers of the District Judiciary watching these proceedings online, my family members, ladies and gentlemen, Vadakkam. At the outset, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Learned Advocate General for the generous words spoken about me and for the encomiums expressed on this occasion. His kind observations are deeply touching. I accept them with humility, conscious that whatever has been achieved during my tenure has been possible only because of the collective support of my colleagues on the bench, the bar, and the entire judicial fraternity. Today is a day of reflection, gratitude, and solemn introspection. As I stand before this distinguished gathering on the eve of my retirement, I am overwhelmed with humility. The privilege of serving as a judge, and particularly as the Chief Justice of the historic Madras High Court, has been the greatest honor of my professional life. Judicial office is not merely a position. It is a sacred trust. It demands intellectual discipline, moral courage, emotional restraint, and an unwavering commitment to constitutional values. Behind every case lies a human story of hope, hardship, dignity, and sometimes silent suffering. This awareness has guided me throughout my judicial journey. When I entered judicial service, I did so with a firm belief in the rule of law as the foundation of a civilized society. Over the years, that belief has deepened. I have witnessed how the law restores dignity to the marginalized, protects fundamental rights, and acts as a constitutional check. At the same time, I have seen how delays and systemic constraints can cause distress. These experiences have shaped my understanding that justice is not merely a legal doctrine, it's a human necessity. The Madras High Court occupies a place of profound distinction in the judicial history of India. Established in 1862, it is one of the oldest high courts in the country. Its legacy rich with eminent judges and distinguished members of the bar, whose contributions have shaped constitutional jurisprudence and strengthened democratic governance. I feel a sense of pride and privilege in being given an opportunity to preside over this historic high court, which is one of the 3 chartered high courts and has completed 150 years of its existence, along with the other high courts, namely Calcutta and Bombay high courts. The Madras High Court is a trailblazer with several firsts. First Indian High Court Judge, Muthuswamy Iyer. First Indian Advocate General, Bhaskar Mayanga. First Indian to become the Chief Justice in the High Court, P.V. Rajamannar. And first Indian Law Report on Private Enterprise, the Madras Law Journal. We who serve here are merely custodians of the great tradition. The institution is larger than any individual, and it is our solemn responsibility to preserve and carry forward his legacy of independence, integrity, scholarship, and courage. I must place on record my deepest appreciation for my esteemed sister and brother judges on the bench. The strength of this court lies in the collective wisdom of its bench. I have been privileged to work along with judges of exceptional learning, integrity, and dedication. Our deliberations, differences of opinions, and shared institutional commitment have enriched me immensely. The spirit of mutual respect and constitutional adherence that defines this court is one of its greatest strengths. I extend my sincere gratitude to learned senior advocates. Their scholarships, clarity of submissions, and sense of responsibility greatly assist the court in delivering reasoned judgments. Their role as mentors to the younger members of the bar ensures the continuity of excellence and ethical standards within the profession. To the members of the bar as a whole, both at the principal seat and at the Madurai bench, I offer my heartfelt thanks. The bar is rightly described as the judge of judges. During my tenure, I have consistently received cooperation, constructive engagement, and mature assistance from the bar. Even in moments of disagreement, institutional dignity was maintained. Such partnership between the bench and the bar strengthens public confidence in the justice delivery system. The Madras Bar Association, the Madras High Court Advocates Association, the law associations at the principal seat, and the various bar associations at the Madurai bench of Madras High Court play an indispensable role in strengthening institutional dialogue, professional development, and welfare initiatives. Their cooperation has contributed significantly to the smooth functioning of this court. I take immense pride in acknowledging that nearly 4,000 women lawyers are practicing before the Madras High Court today. This remarkable presence reflects both progress and transformation within the profession. Women advocates have made significant contributions across constitutional, civil, criminal, commercial, and service law jurisdictions. Their diligence, clarity, and commitment enrich courtroom discourse. The Women Lawyers Association at Chennai and the Women Advocates Association at Madurai bench have played a vital role in encouraging and empowering young women to enter and excel in the legal field. A judiciary and bar that reflects societal diversity are better equipped to deliver inclusive justice. To young lawyers who have recently joined profession, I would say they should keep in mind that they belong to a noble profession. It is not a sprint, but marathon. Hard work is the mother of success. We should always be ready and willing for pro bono work and legal aid. While we take pride in our achievements, we must remain conscious of the challenges before us. Mounting areas, delays, infrastructural limitations, and increasing complexity of litigation. Addressing these issues require collective resolve. Filling vacancies, strengthening infrastructure, embracing technology, and encouraging alternative dispute resolution mechanisms are essential steps in facing these challenges. Digital systems such as e-filing and virtual hearings have enhanced accessibility, but it is my endeavor that technology must remain inclusive and accessible to all. The well-being of judges, lawyers, officers, and staff of the High Court is equally important. The heavy workload and constant pressures under which they function are not merely professional challenges. They are increasingly taking a toll on their health, both physically and mentally. Long hours of sitting, continuous intellectual strain, absence of adequate rest, and the stress associated with adjudication and litigation inevitably affect their overall well-being, which, if unaddressed, can impact not only individual health but also institutional efficiency. It is therefore imperative that systemic measures be introduced to address workload management in a structured manner. Timely filling of vacancy, rational distribution of work, the strengthening of research assistance, effective use of technology to reduce repetitive procedural burdens, and creation of adequate support staff are essential steps towards combating this challenge. In addition, periodic health checkups, counseling facilities, stress management initiatives, and encouragement of a balanced work culture can go a long way in preserving the physical and mental well-being of all stakeholders in the justice delivery system. A healthy judiciary and bar are indispensable for a healthy justice system. I have long believed in continuous legal education and mentorship. In my view, establishing a permanent lawyers' academy would be a valuable step towards nurturing young lawyers, not only in advocacy skills but also in constitutional values, ethics, and social responsibility. The future of our judiciary depends upon the integrity and competence of the next generation. One enduring lesson from my judicial life has been the importance of listening, not merely to arguments advanced by the learned counsel, but also to the human concerns underlying them. Law must be applied with sensitivity and balance. The art of judging lies in harmonizing constitutional principles with human realities. The judiciary's role as guardian of the Constitution demands vigilance. Judicial independence is the right of citizens. It must be preserved with integrity, transparency, and accountability. At this juncture, I wish to express my thanks and gratitude to my family for their wholehearted support, patience, and sacrifice. Judicial life demands long hours and deep commitment. Their strength has been my foundation. It is truly said, behind every success of a man, there is a woman. My wife Madhu always stood by me in all ups and downs since the beginning of my professional career, in days of struggle, challenges, professional and personal both. She not only stood by me in discharge of my familial and societal obligations, but also sacrificed her personal life only to ensure that I do not carry any worry while going to the court. My daughters Medha and Maulshri, young lawyers, are my pride. Being part of a demanding profession, regrettably, I could not devote time which they deserve from their father. But they never complained and were satisfied with the weekend company of few hours. All of them have always remained concerned about my health, well-being, and reputation in the last 16 years. I will now get much more time to look after them and spend quality time. I also remember my parents, late Narmada Prasad Shrivastava, and my mother, late Saraswati Shrivastava, who groomed, guided, and blessed me in all my endeavors. Whatever I am today is because of their blessings. I began my professional journey in October 1987 in District Court, Raigad, under the mentorship of my own uncle, late Dinesh Prasad Shrivastava, a doyen at the bar. Both my uncle and my father encouraged and emboldened me to join my elder brother, senior advocate Ravindra Shrivastava, who was a leading practitioner in the High Court of Madhya Pradesh at Jabalpur and now is senior advocate practicing in the Supreme Court of India. I consider myself most fortunate to have a very strong family support. All my brothers and sisters have always guided and supported me at every moment of my life. On this occasion of my retirement, my elder sister Rekha Verma, younger brother Professor Manish Shrivastava, Dean Central University, Senior Advocate Ashish Shrivastava, sister-in-law Shalini Shrivastava, nephews Animesh Verma and Ashutosh Shrivastava, who are budding lawyers, are also present today. At this juncture, I wish to acknowledge the administrative backbone of this institution, the Registry. I express my sincere appreciation to the Registrar General for her administrative leadership and coordination. I thank the Registrar Judicial for his meticulous supervision of issues relating to judicial processes and the Registrar, District Judiciary, for strengthening the vital link between the High Court Registry and the District Judiciary. Protocol services rendered to me and my family leaves me highly indebted, and my grateful thanks to the entire protocol team of the High Court. I am grateful to my private secretary, Mr. Jaishankar, for ensuring seamless coordination of judicial and administrative responsibilities. I extend my gratitude to all registrars, officers, and staff members of the registry at both the principal seat and the Madurai bench. Their efficiency sustains the daily functioning of this court. I also acknowledge with appreciation the services of the officers of the district registry, district judiciary, magistrates, sub-judges, and district judges throughout the state of Tamil Nadu, who uphold the rule of law at the grassroots level under demanding circumstances. They form the bedrock of our judicial structure and sustain public faith in justice. My thanks are due to a highly competent and dedicated team of personal assistants who regularly attend my court, to my court officer who maintains discipline and procedural order, and to all supporting staff who ensure the dignity and efficiency of courtroom proceedings. On a personal note, I express sincere gratitude to all my drivers and personal staff attached to my chambers and my official residence. Their dedication, punctuality, discretion, and loyalty have enabled me to discharge my responsibilities effectively. They have taken utmost care of not only me, but my family. I have no words to express my gratitude to my entire staff attached to me both at the court and at the residence. As I step into retirement, I do so with gratitude. Retirement is not an end, but a transition. I hope to remain engaged in legal education, mentorship, and public services in new ways. To my successors and colleagues, I say, the legacy of Madras High Court is both an honor and a responsibility. Let us safeguard its independence, strengthen its efficiency, and enhance its accessibility. Let this great institution continue to inspire faith and confidence in every citizen who approaches it. May this court forever remain a beacon of justice, steadfast in principle, compassionate in approach, and unwavering in its commitment to the Constitution. I thank each one of you for your presence, goodwill, and support. The memories and friendships formed here in Chennai will remain among my most cherished treasures. With gratitude in my heart and hope for the future, I conclude. Nandri, Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord. May I conclude the proceedings, my lord?
Thank you.
National anthem.
Yes.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे